Hey, Dave, what you doing, man? What you doing with the Ragnar axe?
I am asking the gods to protect this axe and keep it as one.
You serious right now, Dave? You really think that's gonna work? I don't know about that, man. I think that's just some crazy stuff you got going on.
And what do you think I did to keep the thorax together so we could finish the video? Always so skeptical.
Okay. That's what we gotta do.
Well, we have the axe and the fire. We just need an animal skin and a cat to help the ritual along.
What do you need all that for?
It is too much to explain. Just trust me. The gods are on our side this time.
So I'm gonna grab the axe and I'm gonna stare at it while you got all this stuff around us. And then what?
And then smoke will rise. Thor will shake the sky with thunder. Freya will swoop down on her chariot of cats. Odin will bless this axe with his own hands. Whatever you do, just keep staring at the axe. Do not let the shadows distract you from the blade of your axe.
What exactly is it that we might see?
Dragers. Loki. Nancy Pelosi. You don't want to look. Trust me.
I don't think it's gonna work, Dave. Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Wes, the Suburban Viking. Of course, we got Dave here with us. Say hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
And we are Midgard Axe. And today I'm bringing you the World Axe Throwing League Ragnar Throwing Axe. I had a lot of requests to do a review on this throwing axe. Even before it actually dropped, I had people emailing me and messaging me on different social media platforms saying, Wes, you got to get the Ragnar. You have to get it. You got to throw it. I want to know, is it any good? So in this one, guys, I'm just going to delve straight into it. I'm going to give you first impressions, specs. I'm going to roll some video in of me throwing this thing, and then I'm going to give you my overall opinion at the end. And there's a little bit of a twist on this thing. You'll have to stick around to the end to find out. So let's get into it. Now, as you guys know, this is a newer style throwing axe from the World Axe Throwing League. It's a new design, and it got a lot of people up wondering, hey, is this thing any good? A lot of people were kind of looking at it and going, man, I wonder how that thing's going to perform. How's it weighted? If it's going to fly well in the air, so on and so forth. Well, luckily, I'm going to give it to you. So first impressions on this when I took it out of the actual box that it came in, which is pretty cool for a cardboard box, I thought. Put it next to my face. What do you think about that, Dave?
I think my name should be on the box if you want the truth.
I really do enjoy this axe design. I think the head looks really cool. I do like a little bit of a rounded bit as well. So that's really cool. I do like the design up at the top here. And then the kind of beard they got going on at the bottom, which is really cool. Of course, guys, it's got a normal rounded World Axethrowing League axe handle that they normally put on all of their axes with 2 steel barrel wedges up at the top. So before we get into my actual throwing experience, I'm going to hand it over to Dave, and he's going to give you the actual specs on this throwing axe.
The Ragnar Throwing Axe head is made of 1045 carbon steel with a very thin 4-inch bit. Cheeks? Basically, there are none. The axe comes with a straight American hickory handle at 17.5 inches. Get that lacquer off. The overall weight of the axe is 2 pounds and 3 ounces. And it hits hard. Some say King Ella spent the rest of his days searching for this axe. That is until the great heathen army landed upon his shores. I think they just wanted to ask him a question.
I will say that I always appreciate Dave's information and his perspective on all these throwing axes. He makes this channel what it is, don't you, buddy?
Are we almost done? I have a hot date with Freya soon.
All right, so getting into throwing the Ragnar, what did I think about it? I really did enjoy this thing. As you guys see, I'll roll some video in of me throwing this axe now. I took this thing single, double, triple rotations. As you guys see in the video, we threw in snow. We had some snowfall finally, and that was one thing I said. I wanted to get outside and throw an axe in the snow, and I thought the Ragnar would be a perfect contender for axe throwing in the snow. Single rotations, this thing is awesome. It's just as good as the Ace of Spades. In fact, I would like to say that this thing probably is similar to the Ace of Spades, but I think this one's actually a little better than the Ace of Spades because of the weight distribution on it. The Ace of Spades does have a heavy pole in the back, but this one here does as well, but the weight's pushed a little bit more further towards the bit. So this thing right here did very well at single, double, and triple rotations. It stuck really hard into the target. It sank really hard into the target and really deep, and it just felt really good at a single rotation. I feel like if you're into competition throwing, this would be a great contender for maybe an axe you have now, because this thing flies just so well at a single rotation. Just like the Ace of Spades and the King of Diamonds and the Butcher, these all fly really well for a single rotation. They just really do. Even when I was maneuvering around and throwing this thing on the go, kind of just taking it, running around, throwing it, even with my back turned, flipping around and throwing it, I was getting a very accurate toss each time. So I really did enjoy this thing for a single rotation. Double rotations almost felt exactly the same as a single. I didn't have any issues throwing this thing for doubles. And I will say this thing hits really hard from distance. I think the reason why the Ragnar Throwing Axe hits so hard from distance is because of the way that it's designed. We do have some weight back here that is pushing that bit into the target and making it hit with some force, okay? And we'll get into that in a little bit. I'm going to go over this weight distribution on this, but I just want to throw that out there really quick. Triple rotations, guys, I took this thing back for triple rotations, and it flew really good too. I had no issues getting this thing to stick at a triple rotation. As you saw, I'll try to zoom in if I can. When this thing was hitting at triple rotations, I had vibration going all the way down the handle. I mean, when it was hitting hard. It felt really good out of the hand. The actual axe head did really well in the air. And I just didn't have any issues throwing it for a triple rotation. Even in the snow, with the handle getting wet and all that, it just felt really good. It flew really well in the air. I tried to check as it was flying in the air how much wobble I had. I did have a little bit of wobble at a triple rotation, which is kind of what I had with the Ace of Spades. If you guys don't know, go back and check out my Ace of Spades video where I talk about how that axe performs extremely well for a single rotation. It is a beautiful throwing axe for a single rotation. But when you take that thing back to double and triple rotations, because of that weight distribution on the actual axe head, it wants to wobble. This one right here, it's good at a single and a double, but when you get back to a triple, it wants to wobble a little bit. However, I didn't have any issues sticking it. So the wobble is a controlled wobble. As like I've said before, guys, you can throw an axe and the weight distribution is so off that when you go back to throw for distance, the wobble just gets uncontrollable and it's really hard to stick the bit. And then you have some that have a little wobble, but they don't go outside the box of being able to stick the bit. And that's what this one did here. It flew very well for a triple rotation, and I had a great time throwing it. Now, getting into some of the pros on this throwing axe here. The bit came extremely sharp. And I will tell you guys, after about 2.5 days of throwing, it's still really sharp, okay? I did enjoy this head design on this throwing axe. It just flew really well. And I will show you guys something really quick. Now, this throwing axe here, when I took it out of the box, kind of, tilted the top of the axe head up here like this and was kind of looking at it. And I said, this thing looks really familiar to me. I feel like I've thrown something that is shaped almost just like this. And then it hit me. Holy crap, guys. Take a look at this. The Beavercraft AX1. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I hafted it on a Helkoverk hickory handle. Guys, the actual axe head on this thing is shaped almost exactly the same as the World Axe Throwing League Ragnar Throwing Axe. Look at that. How cool is that? And I said, with the Beavercraft AX1, this thing was a great flyer, and there was a bunch of weight in the back that caused that bit to strike hard into the target. You had the same thing going on with the Ragnar Throwing Axe. So it's like a giant-sized Beavercraft AX1. If you want my honest opinion, that's how it felt, just with a heavier head and a longer handle, okay? I really did enjoy the actual design, like I said before, and it just felt really good flying in the air coming out of my hand. And of course, guys, what video would be complete without a cons list? I'm going to keep it real with you. As you guys know, I've done a bunch of different World Axe Throwing League axes previously, and I'm going to continue to do them. And as you guys know, I have an issue with some of their axe handles. Being able to hold up to abuse and being able to hold up to hard axe throws, okay? Luckily, Dave's ritual he performed at the beginning of this video here, I was able to hold this axe handle up the entire time for 2.5 days. Didn't crack, didn't split, and didn't do anything. However, I will tell you guys this. The actual axe handle shape, I'm not a huge fan of, okay? It is a very long, thin, oval shape, okay? If you can see that there, see how thin it is in here, but long at the end, okay? So basically, when I put my hand around it, it's fitting pretty nice in my hand, but I don't like the way this thing feels in my hand. It just feels odd, okay? And also, like we've said previously before, when they go to half their axe heads on their handles, I don't like the fact that they don't take this head all the way down to the shoulder. And I'll show you guys, we have curling. If you can see that or not, right in here, we have curling going on all down there. And if you haven't noticed, look. The eye of the handle is coming up out of the actual axe head. As you guys know, when you look at some of the World Axe Throwing League axes, they haft their axe heads on their handles flush. The reason why this handle is coming out of the top of the axe head is because it started moving. Okay, it started to loosen up. And the reason why is because, like I've said before, the actual axe handle is too thin in here. It has not been put on this shelf right in this area here. So this head would potentially move all the way down to here before it stops, okay? About a 1/2 inch down. I did my best to try to remedy this. And what I did was I smacked the bottom of the knob to get the handle to come up higher out of the axe head. Then I threw some boiled linseed oil in there and let it sit. And it seems to have stuck in place where it's at. Now, I would suggest someone from the World Axe Throwing League, if you're watching this, make these handles longer, haft it down on the shoulder, it won't move, problem solved, okay? Now, we've gone over a lot on why we think these axe handles are breaking. Dryness, the way that they haft them, they're not putting them down on the shoulders, so on and so forth. However, I found something a little strange and something new on the World Axe Throwing League Ragnar Throwing Axe, which is the 2 steel barrel wedges they put in at the top. I think that's got something to do why some of these handles are breaking. Here's why. They're not hafting it far enough down on the shoulder, okay, which it's causing the axe head to move down like this one did. And what happens is they're throwing 2 steel barrel wedges up at the top, and it's really thin wood right in that area. And if you guys can see, the wedge and everything inside there right now is starting to crack, break, splinter off, and I think that could be the issue. I think they're throwing 2 steel barrel wedges. I can't say that. 2 steel barrel wedges up at the top into that thin wood. It's cracking. It's causing cracking inside here. And then with a hard throw, that's why we get a lot of breakage up in the actual axe head. Just my opinion and speculation. However, it could be a multitude of things. I just think that if the World Axe Throwing League went back and really looked how these heads are pressed onto these handles, I think they could alleviate a lot of this fairly easily. So overall impressions on this throwing axe, what do I think about it? I think that actual axe head design is awesome. I think it flies really well in the air, and I think it has potential. I think it has potential. Do I think it's as good as the King of Diamonds, one of my favorite throwing axes that the World Axe Throwing League produces? No, I don't. However, I think with a new handle, it could be just as good as this one. I'm not sure. Don't know yet, guys. As of right now, it's not as good, in my opinion, as the King of Diamonds. However, I think with a new handle, it would make this axe perform completely different than it did with this handle that I don't care for. And like I tell people all the time that ask me about axe throwing and axes and which one should they get and all this and all that, you guys, just my opinion, start treating axe handles and axe heads as one single piece. Don't look at them as two separate things. Look at them as a whole. One thing. The axe handle is an axe handle without the actual axe head. If you had an axe head without a handle, it's an axe head. You put them together, you get an axe. Start looking at things as a singular unit. When I pick up an axe and I put it in my hand, if it doesn't feel right, I change the handle out. Don't throw axes that don't feel right in the hand. This one here just doesn't feel right in the hand. It feels weird. Even though it feels weird and it flies really well, I think it's got better potential with a new handle. And that's what we're going to do. Start treating your axes as one single thing. Make sure your handles are just as good as your axe heads. Make sure they feel just as good in your hand. And I'll say this too. The King of Diamonds, I've got it down to 15.5 inches. This is coming down to 17, or coming up to 17.5 inches. As you guys can see here, we got a pretty good size difference in handle length there. I think if I put something similar to this handle on this, got it down to 15.5 inches, this thing would be a beast, just like the King of Diamonds. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a part 2 of the Ragnar Throwing Axe, and I'm going to haft a new handle on this head, show you guys how I haft my throwing axes with a new handle. And we'll call it, I don't know, Ragnar Ragnarok or something. I don't know. We'll do a part 2 on this. I'll put a new handle on it, throw it. I think this thing is going to perform just as good as the King of Diamonds. That's just speculative, but we'll have to put a new handle on it and see. Give me this axe, 15.5 inch handle like this one here. Put it on this one. I could tear up all day long, and that's what we're going to do. Put a new handle on this. Overall, guys, I think you can't go wrong with the Ragnar Throwing Axe. I really don't. The tempering's really nice. It's still really sharp, okay? It came really sharp. The design in the axe head is really cool. I think it would be okay to throw the way it comes, but in my personal opinion, you need to start looking at an axe, a throwing axe that is, as one single thing and not as an axe handle and an axe head. I don't even look at this as two separate pieces anymore. This is just one single throwing axe to me. It feels like it's all in unison when I throw it. This one doesn't, but it's because of the handle. So we're going to take that handle off and put an awesome handle on it and get this thing outside throwing really hard. Triple, double, single rotations. Take them back and forth. See how well it performs. But if you enjoyed the video, let me know, please, guys. And please subscribe if you're not. Dave really wants you guys to come back and watch us get into shenanigans and doing crazy stuff. Right, Dave?
We bust our ass for these videos. Well, you do anyway.
That's right, Dave. He's got it. He knows what's going on. He knows what's happening. Right, Dave? He does. Anyway, thanks for all your support, guys. Thanks for making this channel what it is. Hope you guys like the new background. I kind of think I like the cinematic version better because I'm a lot closer to the camera. I got a table right here, but I had to get Dave in. He's such a baby about this stuff. He's got to get into every video.
That's right. Well, I like giving the ladies something to look at.
Right. Whatever, Dave. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all your support. Thanks for everything everybody does to make the channel what it is. Let me know what you guys thought of the Ragnar. I can't believe we made it through an entire video without an actual axe handle breaking, which is awesome. But let me know what you guys think. Appreciate all your support. But until next time, see ya. Come back and watch part 2, Ragnarok. See you guys.
He is going to just leave me here. Great.
Young man,